All Japan Combined Nishikigoi Show. Japan's national fish Nishikigoi, the swimming jewel, compete for their beauty.
日本一を決める大会でもあり、ワールドチャンピオン。
世界で一番でっかい大会ですから。本当のトップのトップです。
The 55th All Japan Combined Nishikigoi Show. Who will win the overall championship? All Japan Combined Nishikigoi Show.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Ryutsu Center in Tokyo, home of the All Japan Combined Nishikigoi Show. So this year is the 55th event. This is effectively the best koi show in the world. So we're just waiting for the judges to join us at the moment. They're just finishing their meeting off, and then they'll be here, and their first job of the day will be to decide the grand champion, the best koi in the world. So while we're waiting for them, we'll take you for a walk around some of the vats and introduce you to some of the potential contenders for that title. So let's take a walk over, and you can maybe, excuse me one moment. Sorry about that. So let's take a walk over to the vats well.
So please go out from the agricultural place as soon as that is judged.
So as you can hear, they're just asking for everybody that's not a judge to leave the show to make space for the judges and not interfere. So judges will be joining us shortly. So for Grand Champion, this fish can actually be any koi that's in the event. Generally speaking, it comes from the largest category and from one of the three Go-Sankei varieties. So what we'll do is show you the 13 fish that are in that group, and you can maybe make a decision for yourselves about which one you think will get the title. So here is the first koi. Unfortunately, I can't give you any information about the koi at the moment because all that's kept secret until after judging, so there's no potential impact. Okay, and we'll move down to the next koi. So again, another kahaku. Okay, moving on down. So here we have a showa. In total, there's 13 fish in the 3 Go-Sankei varieties and the 95 bu size. 95 bu meaning the koi are over 90 centimetres. So it is more than likely that the decision will be made from this size group, but if we get time before the judges arrive, then We'll show you some of the next size down, the 90 bu, which is koi between 85 and 90 centimetres. So we'll just take a walk down to the next koi. There's various different size pools in the show. All of these size koi are in the largest 1.8 metre vats. This year there's 178 of those vats, so it's a little bit of walking to take you around each of the fish. So here we have a sanke. Okay, let's move along to the next. Just this way is the quickest route. Another sanke. Okay, and just in the next vat along, we have another kohaku. Okay, so we'll just move a few vats down. So, here we have a sanke. As I say, I can't give you any information about the fish, but some of you may find some of these fish familiar from previous shows, etc. Okay, we'll just move along a little bit further. Another Sankei. Be interesting if anyone's got their choice or thoughts on their choice of Grand Champion. Maybe pop them in the comments. Throughout the live stream, we'll try and monitor the comments and respond if there's an opportunity. So any questions you've got, please feel free to type them in. Obviously, no questions about the koi themselves. Can't actually give any information out until all the judging is completed today. Okay, we'll just hop across behind us. Here we have another kahaku. Okay, we'll take a walk on down to find the next koi. Just in the next aisle. Morning. So another kahaku. Okay, a few bats further down for the next one. Once again, another kohaku. Okay, and the last three koi. Apologies, last two koi even. Here we have a shower. Okay, moving on down. Kohaku is actually 3 koi. Sorry, someone had given me the wrong bat number. And hopefully the judges will be on their way very shortly now, so we'll just take you quickly to the last entry and then we'll go and join the judges as they're entering. So here we have the last entry in this size category, Showa. Okay, so the judges are now just joining us, so we'll take a walk up the front as they're coming in. As you can see, this show is absolutely huge, over 600 bats. So the meeting the judges have left is just where they run through the rules, so everyone understands exactly what they need to do, and everyone is allocated the size of fish they're going to judge today as well. That's decided by ballot this morning, so it's fair. The judges just coming in now. There's 80 judges plus 1 head judge, and they're divided up into 14 groups now. Previously it was 12 groups. They've now done it into 14 groups, same amount of judges as before. They've just made the groups a different size. Some groups have 7 judges, some have 5. The guys accompanying them in the green jackets are the assistants for the day. So they'll guide the judges round all the pools so they can quickly find the fish they're supposed to be looking at. Each group has 1 international judge. And the only people that can be judges at this show are Shinkokai members, the professional organisation for koi dealers and breeders. So there's no amateurs that judge this show, only professionals. So it looks like pretty much all of the judges have made their way in now, so we'll head up to the front where they're all going to meet up. So what will happen now is the judges will all congregate at the front, and then very shortly they'll head around to have another look at the koi. say the first job they have today is to judge the grand champion. So they'll walk round in single file around these 174 vats. Try and find a convenient place to stand that's not in people's way. So all the judges now will line up in their groups and be instructed to head off and look at the koi. So as I was saying, they'll walk around single file around the 174 vats. As I said, technically the grand champion can come from any of the vats in the show, but everybody knows that the candidates are going to be in these larger 1.8 metre vats, the 174. Be very, very unusual for a smaller fish to be able to win grand champion, and if there was such a fish here, people would know, so they would go and have a look. But to walk around 600 vats would just mean the grand champion judging would take far too long. And a totally unnecessary thing to do. So once they've all made their decision, they'll be given a voting slip where they write the koi's entry number, and then they'll come back and there's ballot box at the front. Everyone will place their entry form into and they'll be counted. So what we'll do in a minute, once the judges start filing round to look at the koi, we'll follow them and have a look, give you a judge's eye view if you like, so you can see inside every vat briefly, which is exactly what they're seeing as they walk round. They're just trying to line everyone up, fit everybody in. Obviously, it's quite a lot of people to fit in quite a small area. So I hope you're enjoying this so far. As I said before, if anyone's got any questions, then please feel free to put them in the comments. Trying to monitor it while I'm talking to you, so if I see anything we can answer, I'll try to do so.
に従って一般から順にで、審判も進めていっていただきたいと思います。じゃあそれでは伊佐さん、手挙げてもらっていいですか。はい、そちらの先頭に、一般から順によろしくお願いいたします。
So as you just saw, Taro Kataoka of Oya Koi Farm, the boss of the Niigata district, Shinkokai, was just giving the people the final instructions, and Daisuke Maeda of Momotaro just translating into English. So now Mitsunori Issa is going to lead the judges around the vats, and they'll file around, and we'll tag along behind and get the same view the judges are getting while they make their decision. It's a little bit of a lengthy process, as you can imagine, for 81 people to walk around 174 vats, but it should give you a time to see a lot more of the koi that have been entered so far. So just while we're waiting for the judges to file past, a few stats about the show. There's 1,843 koi entered this year. 654 of those are entered by Japanese owners and 1,189 by overseas owners. So effectively 2/3 of the entries into this show now come from overseas owners, although obviously the koi have to all reside in Japan. Entering this show is not a cheap thing to do. The cost of one of these larger vats that we've been looking at is 150,000 yen. Which equates British pounds about £780, or in US dollars I think about $950. So that's just to have the pool, and in these larger pools you can enter up to 3 koi. So as you can tell, it's quite a serious thing to do. Calculated this morning that the total cost of entries for all the koi in this show is 64 million yen, which equates to about $415,000, or approximately 335,000 pounds, British pounds. So a huge amount of money goes into entering these koi, but obviously there's significant overheads in running a show like this. A lot of people involved, a lot of equipment. As I said, about 2/3 of the entries are from overseas owners. In total, there's 27 overseas countries that have entered koi into the, or overseas owners that have entered koi into the show, although obviously all the koi are Japanese. That's 27 countries plus Japan. You might recognise a few of these guys judging. A lot of famous faces there, both Japanese and foreign. It's obviously a huge privilege for the overseas judges to be involved in this show. I've just seen a comment, can we get a look at Arasagi in VAT 68? Sure, because we'll actually be following the judges past that VAT number in a moment, so you'll get to see it. We'll be taking a look at all VATs from number 1 right through to 174. Okay, so the last judge is now at the first pool, so we'll just tag along behind. So these VATs hold koi sizes from 75 bu through to 95 bu. So we'll be looking at koi that are possibly too small to enter, but as I say, you're going to get the same view as the judges. So as we walk up the VATs, we'll just flip from side to side, the same as the judges are doing. Fortunately, the air is turned off, which makes it a lot easier to see the koi. Apologies, it is just a very quick fleeting glance, same as the judges are getting. Just along to the next column, the vats we're just passing along here. These are the vats where the contenders, if there's more than one round of judging, up to 5 contenders will be moved into these vats. I'll explain that in a little bit more detail when it's happening. So obviously, although many of these koi we're looking at aren't in contention for Grand Champion, they will be for many of the major prizes today. There's some fantastic fish we're walking past. Huge amount of varieties, and especially when you think we're looking at the largest size groups, to see koi of this quality and this size is really something very special. So in total, there is actually 22 varieties or variety classes that koi are entered into in this show, and 18 sizes. So that's 396 different sort of groups if you take the sizes and varieties together. On top of that, male koi of 50 centimetres and over are separated. So koi under that size are judged as both sexes together. So you have the larger sizes, you have 9 size classes for male, and they're separated into 6 variety classes. So that's another 54 groups. So in total you have 450 different size and variety classes for the judges to go through today and decide a first, second place, etc. for the awards. So going back to those 5 pools at the front, excuse me, what's going to happen now when the judges get back to the front and make their decision? For a koi to be crowned as the Grand Champion, it must receive over 50% of the votes. So quite often that doesn't happen straight away. The votes can be spread across several koi. So up to the top 5 koi will be selected and then moved to those vats for a second round of judging, and that can go on for further rounds each time the vote koi moved. So we'll wait and see what happens, how many koi are selected potentially for the next round, or possibly, I've only seen it once in about 20 years, there will be a Grand Champion in the first round. Highly unlikely, but we don't know until the votes are counted. So obviously over 50% of the votes means 41 votes. Many of the koi in these vats have been at the show in previous years. It's always interested to see their development. Great learning experience to attend the show each year. moves quickly. So we'll just take a very quick walk up here, try and catch the judges up. So interesting to see a few of the judges have gone back to some of the vats for a second look, just to make their final decision. Often quite a good thing to do. You know, when you see judges picking 2 or 3 koi and then going back through to just finalise their decision. So most of the judges now back at the front. Last few just coming over, so very shortly they'll be passing their decision to the head judge. I think they're going to do. In previous years, every judge put their own slip into the ballot box, but as from last year, they changed it so each group has a head judge, which is the guy you'll see at the front of each column. And last year they changed it so they all give their votes to their respective head, and they will then put the slips into the box. It just speeds things up a bit. So we will see soon if this year is consistent with that. apologies we didn't show you every single VAT. A few little technical issues there slowed us down a little bit, but I think we've shown you certainly all of the koi that are going to be in contention for the Grand Champion. So the guys in red, you can see the show officials. Last judges just making their way over now. It's perfectly acceptable at this show for people to talk about their choices with each other, you know, in the groups, discuss things about the koi. So it looks like we've got pretty much everyone here. As I say, going back to this view, the guys in the red are the show officials, so they'll be monitoring everything to make sure it's all done properly. You can see the 2 ballot boxes there where the voting slips will be put in very shortly, and there's a couple of guys at the desk. You'll see that they're responsible for counting and recording the votes.
Now voting, please write down size, variety, and coin number. Don't put your name. Only size, variety, coin number, please.
So you see there, Kataoka-san just showing everyone that the boxes are empty, so complete fairness and transparency. And just telling each judging group which box they need to put their votes in. And as you can see, it is just the looks like the head judges are just putting all the slips in. Speeds things up quite a bit. So what you'll see now is the red jackets will crowd around the table to block anyone's view, so people can't get any idea yet of which koi is favourite. All the press are moved back, the judges move back. And very shortly we'll get the results of the first round of judging. So we can just see there the back of the heads of both Futoshi Mano and Kentaro Sakai. I'm sure both are very nervous at this moment in time. Obviously both of them have significant entries into this show and for this award. So hopefully it won't be much longer now. I'm sure the votes are just being double checked. Difficult to see from where we're stood. And as I say, the officials block our view anyway, so that no one can see what's going on. But it shouldn't be much longer, and we'll get an idea of which koi are potentially up for the award. So just looking at some of the previous winners there, every year the Grand Champion gets its own poster to go up on the wall. Okay, so the assistants now just going to bring the koi to the front, which have been selected for the second round. Looks like we've got 3 koi nominated. As you see, the guys in the green are the assistants which will actually carry the koi. The guys in the orange are health officials. So what they'll be doing is making sure the bags, when the koi are put in the clear plastic bag, those guys will be drying the bag and disinfecting it, just to make sure that as they carry it forward, no water's spilt, and avoiding any cross-contamination between vats. Very important. So it does look like the expected candidates are coming forward. By my calculations, we will actually have 1 Sankei, 1 Showa and 1 Kahaku, which will be quite nice. Certainly we've got the Showa from VAT 127 and the Sankei from over in the other row, forget the VAT number. And I'm sure this koi we're just looking at, the group to the left, I'm sure is a Kahaku. So the first koi Sankei is just being moved forward. As you can see, it takes a few people to lift it. Huge koi. And the other koi just coming through now. So this is a shower from about 127. Yeah, and a Kahaku coming forward. So quite predictably, the expected 3 candidates. So what will happen now is all the judges will file past these 3 vats and make their choice for the next round. So we should now have a view of the 3 tanks, so you can see the 3 koi that the judges are going to be checking. And this time they'll just be putting...
3 koi now nominated in the nominate pool. So nominate pool have number. Pool 1, pool 2, pool 3. Please check pool number. So when you voting, please write pool number only.
Daisuke Maeda just explained exactly what I was going to say. He saved me the job. I think from memory, this is the first time I've seen in this round to have one of each of the 3 varieties lined up. It's quite a confined area, a lot of the press fighting for space to try and get pictures of the judges. And at the same time, trying not to get in the judges' way. Obviously, their job is the most important. So those of you watching, what's your thoughts? Pool 1, 2 or 3, maybe pop in the comments. Be interesting to see people's thoughts. course, a lot of these judges will have selected one of these koi in the first round by the very nature that they've been moved up to the front. But it does give people an opportunity to see the koi much closer together, which makes comparison a lot easier. Sometimes the decision can be very small between two fish. It's a lot easier when the fish are next to each other rather than trying to compare fish, that are in different aisles. So the last few judges now just coming past the three bats, and then we should get back and we'll go through the same process where they'll all hand their voting slip to the head of their team, and they'll go into the ballot box to be counted for the second round. Will we see a third round, or will we see one koi with at least 41 votes and the decision made in this round? We'll soon find out. Now the judges have finished looking, it's time for the assistants, other press, etc. can get a closer look at the fish.
はい、それではこれより西の用紙の方をお送りしたいと思います。ですね、右の紙には、ノミネートのルールの番号、こちらの方を1番、2番、3番ありますが、こちらの方、記入の方よろしくお願いしたいと思います。
Please write a full number, number 1 or number 2, number 3. Nominate will have number 1 or number 2, number 3. Please write only number.
So is anyone going to be brave enough to put their choice in the comments? Well, we've got a couple of choices. Interesting to see. So we're just waiting for the votes to be counted and double checked.
それでは、これより1番か2番の、こちらの方、出題したいと思いますので、またの記入用紙、1番か2番で、記入の方よろしくお願いいたします。
Okay, so we have I'll let Daisuke explain.
Now find out. Now, pool number 1 or 2.
ここに見たい先生方いましたら、このノミネート、見ていただいても構いません。よろしくお願いします。
If you want to check again, you can go and nominate pool and check.
So basically the Kahaku in VAT 3 has now been excluded, and it's between the Sankei and the Showa. They're just offering the opportunity if anyone wants to come again and check. Maybe someone that had previously voted for the Kahaku and hasn't made their mind up between the Showa and Sankei. But as you can see, everyone there is, no one needs to come and check. They all know, so they'll just cast their final vote, and we will find out very shortly who is the grand champion. Okay, so as the final vote's now been cast and nothing can influence that, I think it's reasonable to say now that we've got an all-out battle between Sakai Fish Farm and Dainichi. I said earlier that you could see the back of the heads of the two guys feeling very nervous, and that's exactly why. Two of the most successful breeders in the koi world both won this show many, many times. So it'll be very interesting to see on this occasion. Here we go. There we go. And there we have it, guys, the 2025 Grand Champion. Effectively the best koi in the world. So very shortly the koi will be moved over into the Grand Champion vat, and we'll get a better look at it. So possibly before this koi is moved, what they're going to do now is the what we class as the reserve Grand Champion, or they call the Super Jumbo Prize, and it's going to be decided between pools 2 and 3. very interesting. You just hear in the background someone say runner-up, but it's technically not a runner-up, it's a reserve. The reason being that to be a runner-up, it would have to be in the same competition. So automatically, VAT number 2 is runner-up because it received the second amount of votes. This is a totally separate voting round between two fish. So you could actually find that, for example, a lot of the people that voted for the Showa now vote for the Kahaku, and that could beat the Sankei in VAT 2. So this is a totally separate round of voting. So we'll just wait for that decision to be made, and then hopefully the Grand Champion will move over. And we'll see if it's okay to share a bit more information with you. I'm sure there's a lot of information being put onto social media already, but officially we're not supposed to do that. I think everyone will agree it's an absolutely fantastic shower. Still looks like it's got room for improvement as well, which is great. You know, far from a finished koi. Huge body. Looking at the sumi, that still looks like it could improve further. What a beautiful koi. Obviously the breeders put a lot of time and effort into conditioning the fish ready for this show, but when you bear in mind the size of this fish and that it's travelled down all the way from Niigata overnight Wednesday, early hours of Thursday morning, so it's been through quite a journey to be here and still looks in that great condition. Koi at this show come from all over Japan. So the Sankei in pool number 2 from Sakai Fish Farm. That is what we would call the reserve champion. They term as the jumbo champion. So as you can see, the Grand Champion just being moved now. So the Grand Champion will be moved over to the pool. As you can see, the guys just cleaning and disinfecting and drying just to make sure no water is spread about. At the same time, the Jumbo Champion will be moved and the Kahaku from VAT 3 will go back to its regular pool to be included in the rest of the judging. So all the judges now just heading off to carry on with their more regular judging, which will go on for most of the day, probably finish about 4 or 5 o'clock this afternoon. So let's go and take a closer look at the Grand Champion, World Champion Koi of 2025.
くお願いします。グループの2班の35の、審査会場、こちらの方が、ファイルの方が、ちょっとないっていうことで、2班の方から、お話があるので、そちらの方をちょっと確認していただきたいと思います。持ってますね。はい。いや、すみません。ありがとうございました。見つかりました。はい。じゃあ、これでは、審査の方、進めてください。よろしくお願いします。
Okay, so as I mentioned before, this is a Dainichi Showa. It's actually 7 years old and 96 centimeters, I believe. The agent for this koi is a very well-known agent, Sanshin Trading. Deal with a lot of high-end koi, especially to Chinese customers. And this koi is owned by a very famous Chinese hobbyist, Mr. Wan. No stranger to the koi show scene. So congratulations to him, Sanshin, and Dainichi Koi Farm, of course. Fantastic achievement with a very well-deserved koi, very well-deserved prize. Definitely no argument from me on this choice. I think it's a superb fish and my choice yesterday. Okay, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you all enjoyed that. As I said before, any comments, please leave them in there. Even if you're watching this after it's live, feel free to leave comments, and we'll try to reply to them later in the day. And we'll look forward to seeing you next year for the same event. So, yeah, bye for now, and thanks for watching.